Some of you have taken my course on basics of Orthodoxy, and one of the classes I talk about iconography, and I show some slides, some pictures from a synagogue that was excavated in, I believe it's called Duros, Europa in Syria. And it's a very early synagogue, I think it's 3rd century. And the synagogue is beautifully decorated with iconography. Synagogue with iconography. All across the walls are the beautiful stories of the Bible portrayed in colorful detail, frescoes on the walls. I wonder if when St. Paul was preaching and teaching, especially this lesson that we have here from the Epistle to the Hebrews, that you are surrounded by so great a cloud of witnesses as he remembers all of the Old Testament saints and the righteous that came before him. How many times was he in a synagogue where he could actually do that and say, there they all are? We have it now, of course, in the Orthodox Church. We have it every Sunday so much that we don't even notice. We don't even notice that we are surrounded by so great a cloud of witnesses. Some of them from the Old Testament. We have some of the prophets, Moses, Elias, Isaiah, Daniel. We have mothers of the Old Testament, Sarah, Ruth. For them, the righteous were very much alive. Those Old Testament saints were still very much alive and part of the community. They were understood to be watching over them, to be present spiritually among them. There was a communion of the saints, even in the Old Testament times. Not all of the Jews believe this. That's why Jesus has in his encounter, he has the encounter with the Sadducees, who didn't believe in the resurrection. And they test him and they ask him, and he says, you don't know the power of God, and you don't know the Scriptures. For God said, I am the God of Abraham and Isaac and Joseph. And God is not the God, Jacob, sorry. God is not the God of the dead, but the God of the living. For Christ himself, these were the living. The righteous were still very much alive in the Lord. So too we celebrate in the church today the Feast of All Saints. We remember that all those who have gone before us in the hope of the resurrection remain alive and well in that hope. That they are watching over us. That they are a cloud of witnesses that testify to the power of faith. Just as all those Old Testament saints testified to the power of faith in God and had a good testimony because of their faith. We too look around and see all these saints. And these are just a sampling. We have a nice eclectic sampling in our parish here. Saints from all over the world. But they are the smallest of samplings. I mean, there is not enough room. There are not enough square feet for the saints of the church to be represented in any temple on earth. There are so many saints. And we ourselves are looking forward to that. And that's why St. Paul says here, but even they were not yet given the promise. Right? Their fulfillment of their destiny has not yet been completed. They are waiting for something. They are waiting for us to complete our lives, to complete our testimony, to complete our race in this life, to complete our witnessing of the faith. Like a mother or a father who stays up late at night and cannot fall asleep until their young person, their teenager, or their young adult comes through that door, with or without a good excuse. The saints are waiting up for us. They are waiting in great anticipation and great longing for the day in which our numbers will be complete and all of God's children will come home. So brothers and sisters, may you have this joyous feast of the saints and know that you are not alone. That you have holy fathers and holy mothers together with your heavenly Father who are waiting for you, who are anticipating your arrival into that mansion with many rooms, to that house of many mansions, joyous time for us. It's a time to go into the summer months, to celebrate the day of our independence next week, and so forth. But let us never forget our final home that we must look forward to, our final destination, and our final independence from sin, death, and the devil, which comes in the life to come. God bless you. That's all I have to say today. It's a thought, not a sermon. And I hope that you'll come and join us for coffee hour downstairs. Next week, I don't know if we have any sponsors yet signed up or for any of the weekends in July, so please come and sign up for coffee hour downstairs if there is a spot open for you. We need you and your care. This week, there's a few special events. It is because of the discrepancies of the new and old calendar. The new calendar, unfortunately, only has a 2-day Apostles' Fast this year. Not much of a fast, but I hope that you will observe it with integrity and with fervor. We have special services for the Holy Apostles. On Tuesday night, we'll have the Great Vespers at 7, and on Wednesday morning, the Feast of Saints Peter and Paul with the Divine Liturgy at 10 a.m. If you'd like to come for confession this week, Tuesday night before or after the Vespers. Also, there'll be Vespers Wednesday night at 7 p.m. as usual. I'm sorry I didn't include that. Confession before or after that service as well. And Friday, do we have book study, Anna? Did we determine that?
Yes.
Okay, so new book study on Friday as well is available, and you can come for confession before or after that if you have time available. There will be no Vespers on Saturday for the next, until the end of July. So if you want to have confession, this is the week, this is the time to do it. Next Sunday, we start liturgy at 9:30 a.m. So it's our summer hours, and that will go through until basically Labor Day weekend, I guess. And then we have Father Timothy Perry will be with you next Sunday as well. So Parish Council, remember you meet Monday night at 7 p.m. as well. If any of you would like to come for confession beforehand, you are also welcome. So I think that's it for announcements. Pretty simple.